You really know this exciting show of getting to know our wonderful folks from LinkedIn and who they are. Today we have a very wonderful guest. We will find out who he is here in a second. But today has been a very cold day in Arizona, in Phoenix especially, in the 40s. And so we're excited for that. It's nice to have cold, but it's a little bit cold over the usual. So I'm glad you guys are all here. Let me go ahead and show you who it is. So this guest was actually recently on my program, and let me just show you a clip of the show real quick, while before we bring him in. Okay. All right.
Asia 400.
Asia for 400. Okay. Okay. The Yangtze River is the longest river in this country, or the third longest river. Anjon.
China.
China is correct. Yes. Have you been there, sir?
I have been there twice.
You've been there twice. Wow, you would know that. Does it
Yeah.
look like? Is it that dirty?
The less said, the better.
Oh yes. Awesome. That's awesome. That's a great. Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
All right, there it is. There's the gentleman who's going to be joining us. Let's play the intro. He did great on the program. We're going to talk to him about that in a second. Let's go ahead and show you the opening, and we'll be back with you guys in about 45 seconds. Show number 12.
Anjon Banerjee.
All right, all the way from India. Let's bring him in. Anjon, here he is. 3, 2, 1. All right. Welcome to the program. You are guest number 12. How are you? Welcome.
Yep, that makes it 1 dozen.
Exactly.
Not the baker's dozen. Yes.
What city are you?
Wonderful having you, being with you here. Yeah.
Awesome. What city are you joining us today from?
I am in the freezing north of India. It's hovering between 1.5 and 5 degrees, foggy, cold, and gray. Just the weather one is used to in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Managing, all right.
Awesome. Let me just say hello to Eugene. I had met him the other day. Eugene, I'm glad you're joining us. There were some issues with LinkedIn, but hopefully people can comment. If not, we can see it in the actual link. So we've had issues. So Eugene, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Right. If you're ready, sir, let's get to the first question.
Shoot.
All right. Which country did you enjoy living in the most and why?
I'd be extremely honest. The country which fascinated me was Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And maybe the beaches in Europe, most of them, they were wonderful.
Oh, I can imagine. Hi, Sue. Sue's a good friend. I met her the other day. She's awesome. Welcome. And also, I'm going to say hello to Carl. Carl is a wonderful guy. Good morning, Omar. First time in your audience. Looking forward to your show. And Carl will be doing a show too. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So excellent. All right. So Switzerland, huh? Did you say Switzerland or Sweden?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, next question. Okay, do you remember your first patient you treated? Now, I know you're a doctor. Who was the first patient you treated?
The first patient I treated in my hospital when I returned back to India was a laborer. His name was Shiv Pal, and he was a person who was completely broke. I went out of my chair, ushered him in, treated him, and then I asked him for just $1. I still have it. I had it till a month back before my entire house was ransacked and I lost that very precious. It was actually a family heirloom. So I remember that person extremely well. Never seen him after that. Maybe my competence. Who knows?
Oh wow. Okay, that's awesome. That's terrible, I guess. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Okay. Okay. What makes LinkedIn so unique compared to other platforms and social media to you?
That's a brilliant question, Omar. A brilliant question. I had never been to LinkedIn maybe about 2.5 years earlier. I had never heard of LinkedIn, or maybe I didn't care. But once I got into LinkedIn, that's where I bumped into interesting people, you being one of them, and I never had any friends from Africa. I now have at least 500 people who I help. But that having said, I met some phenomenal people, all strangers, and this I personally feel with no bias that this is the platform for people to be in, for learning, for exposure, and to put in your thoughts, no matter how weird it might be, because all kind of people make this world. I personally am very grateful that we saw each other, met each other on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a fantastic, and I recommend it to my students, my patients, educated, and to my family. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good question. And you're right. You meet a lot of people. I never expected to have a lot of friends like from Africa and people like Dr. Anjon here, who's a wonderful guy, to be able to meet them and then was on my other program, the game show that I did. And yeah, you're so right. It has a different networking of people, different than other social media, right? Like Facebook,
Right.
you
Yeah.
talk to them, you not as much. But here, because it's business oriented, people want to talk to you and they want to know who you are compared to other ones. So that's why I'm promoting more on LinkedIn compared to other ones. And I'm gonna close out the other social medias and focus more on this one because that's what we are. We want to be more humanized, not stay away. And unfortunately, now we're all just on our devices and we're stuck inside. But having that ability to talk to people on video and see people is phenomenal. It's amazing. What are your thoughts there, Doctor?
Oh, my thoughts is that I have lots to owe to you, Omar. This is my first honest video attempt. Maybe my preoccupations keep me away from really getting into these things, but I am honored, privileged, and very happy that we get to, a platform like this, courtesy friends, genuine friends like you, Omar. And that's it. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's my
Okay.
thought.
With that, let's go to the next question. And we have some other comments here. Sue, I like to say she's such a wonderful person. If you haven't connected and talked to her, Sue Dennis, I have friends all over the world from LinkedIn. She's wonderful. We had a good conversation the other day. And we have here Dr. Arun Shekla. Salutations, doctor. Is this a friend of yours? Somebody you know?
Absolutely a phenomenal gentleman. I never expected salutations, sir.
Wow.
This gentleman is amongst the 10 I would count as a contribution of having been privileged on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Absolutely wonderful. And
Awesome.
I mean it. I mean it.
Awesome. Where is he? Where are you joining us from, Mr. Dr. Arun, or where is he located? Is he's also in India, or where?
No, I do not know. I presume he's in the Middle East somewhere, if
Okay, if you
not
can
Europe.
tell
Yeah,
us
yeah.
where your
I
location
never
is.
asked this question. No, never.
Sure. If you can tell us where you are, doctor, I hear you're a good guy, and thank you for joining us. All right. Next question here. Okay, let me remove this here. Wise exchanges educate wisdom. Okay, how many languages do you speak, doctor?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question, Omar. I could speak 11,
Oh,
but
11.
since, yeah, I could speak 11, but it has now shrunk to 8.
Okay.
And yeah, it shrunk to 8 because, I mean, speaking actually requires interaction, and I've been deprived of it for reasons understandable. But I can speak fluently 8 languages.
So yeah, like if you don't use it, you lose it. So can you name some of those languages? That's impressive to know at least eight, or even the 11 that you once knew. Would you mind naming
Uh,
them?
yeah, I can speak, of course, English being one. The other is Hindi, which is spoken very widely in Asia, maybe the world.
Yeah.
Punjabi, we have the diaspora everywhere. Bengali, that's my native language. Then from Assam, we have a language called Ohimia.
Oh, nice.
Then, yeah, then adjoining state called Odisha, I can speak Odia. I was in the defense forces, so Dogri, and the languages which I am not fluent in are maybe Marathi, which is in the central India, and Gujarati. I could speak them absolutely fluently. I used to interview people with these languages.
Uh huh.
So yeah, there are very many. There are very many languages. When I was in Nepal, I could speak Nepali, but not Tibetan. Though I tried my level best to learn that language, because about 60% of my patients were from Tibet.
Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm sure India has a lot of different nationalities and cultures and all that. So that's great. I always remember the clue that we asked you about the Arab speaking countries, right? That was a hilarious one. Remember that clue, that question we gave you on the show, the Arab speaking countries? Yes. So that was a hilarious one. Let me get to the comment here from our friend Sue here. I think Miss Nasser, Leona Nasser, is here from Beirut. If she's here, welcome. She is holistic IBD coach. She just liked my comment about having friends all over the world. Awesome, she's great. Yeah, if you're joining us, definitely comment, and I appreciate Miss Dennis for that comment. There, it's great. And
Welcome,
all
welcome.
right, let's go on to the next one. All right, here we go. What is the best place to visit in India? If we would go to India, where would you take us?
See, this country abounds in fantastic places. Depends on your choice. If you would like to visit honest culture and great cuisine, I would still feel it's Rajasthan. Uh, Jaipur be my first choice. Backwaters of Kerala, and the must see is the Taj Mahal. We all fell in love sometimes or the other. None of us could do that for somebody we so dearly, dearly loved for whatever reasons. But here is, I think, an absolutely fantastic monument which tells you what the civilization is all about and how wise people were then and the intensity of their commitment towards nicer things of life. Yeah.
You're right. Absolutely. And then India has a lot of history, so it's beautiful to go see all these monuments, as you mentioned, Taj Mahal, and all these different places. Sue has a good comment here regarding that. I've never been to India, wanted to go, but the Iraq War broke out a few days before we flew. Oh, okay. Yes, Taj Mahal, Princess Diana was photographed there. Interesting. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good piece
Yeah.
of
Thanks,
information.
Lou.
Yeah,
Yeah.
millions of people travel there and go all the time. In fact, our friend Matt Allen, not sure if you know him, but he was from Kudos. He was there too, and he took pictures and stuff like that. So it's and so I also heard that they have all these seven wonders in India. They made the replicate of it. Is that
Can you kindly repeat that question, please? Uma, am I audible, sir? Are you there, sir?
okay? I think we're back
Yeah.
now. Can you hear me, sir? Okay.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. There was some kind of a connection issue. Looks like. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what I was saying is I know in India I heard there's a replica of the seven wonders of the world. Is that right?
Honest, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yes, the Taj Mahal replica is also available on a miniature version in a place called Aurangabad in Maharashtra. And one gentleman in Bangladesh, I think, has built one for that very reason. But honestly, I am not. I've very widely traveled and I cannot recollect this information. So I cannot comment really.
Got it. I heard of a friend of mine mention something to you. Okay, let me bring in the source. So we're having some tech issues here. Oh, LinkedIn, we are such a beautiful thing. Here, let me bring you in here. Okay, so it's gonna bring us back to the beginning. Let's go back. We are on question. We did that one. We did that one. And I think here we go. Okay, name us something you are very passionate about.
Wonderful question. Wonderful question. Wonderful question. I am passionate about whatever I put my hands on. Uh, I love humans. I love animals. I love nature. I'm being absolutely blunt and square on this. I mean, in my lifetime, I think the kind of experiences, excuse me, the kind of experiences that I've gone through, uh, I'm pretty certain many would have, but not very many. Uh, and I've done, you name it, and I've done it in my life. And every day is again an opportunity. So in sports, I play golf right now. I used to hunt earlier, no more, but I love fishing. I like music. I like to help people, especially destitutes, the orphanage, and old homes. I feel, and I say this with absolute honesty, when you have it all, you don't value it. When you do not have it, even that one drop makes an ocean. So that I think there are so many things I could mention, but this is a very deep and intense feeling to be helpful to everybody.
Absolutely, you know, good advice. And I noticed too when you played the program, you had a lot of knowledge in certain areas, and that's good. You're a smart guy, and you like to help people, and we should all do that. Sue's asking, "Do you like coffee?" Who doesn't like coffee? I mean, coffee is good. I'm not a coffee person all the time, but I'll drink it, a couple of times a week. How about you, doctor? Are you a coffee guy?
Yep, I'm a coffee guy through and through,
Yeah.
and I love dogs. Since the day I remember when I really started understanding, my father was a colonel in the army, he was in the British Army. We always had, till the day he left us, we always had four dogs and parrots who were taught by my mother to speak. Yep.
Awesome. That's great. That's awesome. All right. Sue says again, that is gratitude. Yes, Omar, good advice. Awesome. All right. I'm glad she is joining us. Sue, you're awesome. Okay, let's go on to the next question. We're almost done. Okay. Do you love eating fish? A question out of the blue. Changing the topic. Are you a fish guy?
Fishy question.
Yeah.
Fishy question.
Like fishing,
Yep.
but do you love to eat it?
uh, I adore fish. I mean, given a choice between any meal, fish would be my delight.
Yeah.
And wherever I have been, strange as it might sound, whether it be Africa, whether it be Australia, whether it be Philippines or Bangladesh or Europe, and today people understand, excuse me, that the omega-3 fatty acids, like the Mediterranean food, has a superb cardiovascular uh, property, full of vitamins, easy to digest, and like uh, cheese, you can keep adding toppings and any condiments and spices, which make it even more favorable. Yeah, I love fish. How about you?
Yeah, fish is great. I do love it. And I know you also fish. You do fishing, right? What type
Yeah.
of fish is there in India or other places? I'm assuming in India. What type of fish is it? It's different than here. But I remember we used to go fishing when we were kids. They had salmon or they had catfish mainly. But yeah, we actually eat fish maybe once a week at least, as here at home with parents and stuff. So yeah. So what type of fish do you fish there?
Uh, we do not get the, since this being closer to the equator, we do not get salmon and cod, etc.
Yeah.
But we we have a variety of fish which are farmed here, or sometimes we get trout which run downstream from the Himalayas.
Uh huh.
So I mean, what is very surprising is a trout in Kashmir or ahead would cost you a fortune. Here, people have never seen of or never heard of trout, so you can get them for pennies here.
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, uh, normally, except the south of India, people are not crab eaters, and we get seafood. Yes, we get seafood, but we cannot fish them in the rivulets or the ponds or other places here. No.
Excellent. That's awesome. Yeah, there are places here that have that as well. So where you can go and do some kind of fishing in Arizona, but they're all like man-made lakes, catch and release kind of thing. So awesome. Let me go over to your friend here, Dr. Arun. Hopefully I pronounced it right. Actually, passion to help others is very enriching. You are a millionaire by loving to help many regards. Of course, right? That makes you a millionaire if you're helping people because you influence people and you also help them in getting their compassion to them, more than money, right? I mean, money, you'll buy the item and it's all greedy. But if you're actually helping people, showing the compassion, like, oh, I'm glad you're feeling good, how you doing today, they're gonna remember that you're treating them well, and just like you as a doctor and a patient, all your patients, I'm sure, definitely acknowledge you for that. So that's the number one key thing here, right? What do you think about that? Compassion and your comment about your friend here.
Omar, I have actually been into the corporate world from start of my career. I have worked for two largest multinationals in their specialized fields. I was into international marketing and sales. Right now, apart from my practice, I am also running a management school where I integrate yoga, I integrate the olden ancient philosophies, music, and skills which are not taught anywhere in the world in business schools. I'm a guest lecturer to most of the business schools here in the country and overseas. I'm also into career counseling, which I do for free. Nobody knows, no parent knows whether their child has an aptitude or the attitude to be a doctor, engineer, and there are so many, many fields. I do this counseling on weekends for free. I do medical camps.
Oh
That
wow.
is in addition. Yeah, I do free medical camps in the urban and rural areas. And last, I am into tree plantation. I have mentioned it a dozen times. Nobody seems concerned. They would rather pay for a holiday. They would rather go to a park and enjoy the flowers. Whereas one sapling planted at least once in a lifetime, and if it's a fruit plant, you see the flowers blossom, then you see the fruits, and it is for the next generation. So I do very many things, but these are the things which are very close to my heart, sir.
Excellent. Let me just acknowledge Leslie. She's a good friend. She's late. You're never late. You can always watch the recording, and I'm glad you're here to listen. Definitely, the recording would be there. And our good friend Carl, he's in Colorado, I believe. Helping other people is a way to create abundance, the growth of new and more assets from which everyone may benefit. Absolutely true, definitely. Let's go over to the next question here.
Just 1 second, sir. Before I answer that, I would like to offer my sincere gratitude to Leslie, a lady for whom I have profound regards, and for Coral. I have only met him very recently, this week, maybe last week, and I was extremely impressed with his wisdom and thoughts. Nice to be associated on a platform like this. Thank you very much. Yeah, sir, your
Absolutely.
next question, sir.
All right, excellent. I love that. Okay, what is a good exercise program that you do, if any? I know you mentioned golfing, but as a
It is,
doctor,
it,
what do you
yes,
recommend?
it is. Yes, it is golfing, but before that, for 15 minutes, I go for a light jog. Get the thoughts concentrating. One of the most difficult games ever. I mean, it's more complex than the universe. You could be good one day, a hole in one. It could take you 18 shots to get to the hole the next day. So it's absolutely fascinating.
Awesome. I love that. That's awesome. And I believe we have one more question. This is a question everybody gets to answer. If I would invent an item to help mankind, what would it be? I mean, it could be a thought, an idea. I put it as an item, but it could be also emotional. It could be something like that. We've had 11 people before you mentioned different items, and they can all be seen on this channel and also the YouTube channel. But what do you think, sir? You had about 5 seconds to think about it. What is your inclination?
My answer to this would be abolish two things to contribute to happiness in the world. First is no currency, or maybe just one currency, over and out. Over and out, you earn it. The value ought to remain the same as your currency value. think it over. It makes a lot of sense. And poverty would very soon be gone. Second is, I always wonder, and I wonder, and I wonder, and I wonder, since BC, there have been fights on religion. It continues till today. If God is one, why not have one universal God in this world? Why not? Think
Yeah.
of how much bloodshed, how much unhappiness can be abolished over and out. Yep,
Hey,
that's
good,
my thoughts.
definitely good points. Let me go ahead and close this. And your closing thoughts. We are about to close here. I want to thank my guest here, all the way from India. He has some interesting facts about him that we learned today, about fish and about India, about where to go to, and definitely a wonderful guest to have as number 12. I'm sorry he was not number one, but we had met later, so he became number 12. And tell us your closing thoughts about the program and anything you want to tell our viewers for advice. And as our friend Donald Kono says, this will be watched for generations to come. So we're advising our great grandkids as well. So just remember that.
Omar, till this time, I never had an inkling on the kind of, the kind of person that you are, honest. The subject so well thought of, the questions so relevant. My parting thoughts would be this world is miserable. So much unhappiness. Our childhood, we used to laugh, we used to play, we used to have mirth, and we used to smile all day long. Let me ask the audience just one question. When was it last that you saw a child smile or crack a joke? I personally, this is my heartfelt request that we should, apart from being compassionate, we must bring in lots of laughter in our persona. It really helps. It really helps. That's my thoughts, sir.
Absolutely, I love it. You're right. I mean, and when you said that, it reminds me of when I was young. I would say 10, 15. We would go to the libraries, and who goes to the libraries these days, right? We spent time
Nobody.
with the family every Sunday night for 2 hours, and we would go to a Barnes and Nobles or any of these bookstores that were there. Now, some of these are even closing now because of the phones, and people want to do that. That's fine, but then go back to the original of reading and going and teaching your kids. We would read Magic School Bus and all these wonderful books, Charlotte's Web, back in the day. And so, yeah, we need to go back to that. Unfortunately, spend if you have kids, spend an hour or two with them to the library rather than buy them a movie or a electronic device because that's going to really help them grow. I'm sure there are people who do that, sure, definitely, but we need to encourage it more than encouraging the phone, that kind of thing. And so, with that, I want to thank my guest here. I'm going to put him in the breakout room. We'll talk in a second with him, and he's been great. Let me just go ahead and do some closing words here. I want to thank my guest, Dr. Anjon, and he's an awesome guest to be on number 12. We'll be back with more guests for next time and the future. And thank you guys for joining us again for this program. It's been an interesting show. Please watch the replay. My name is Omar and enjoy your day. Thank you so much.